Hi, my name is Vicky. I just barely arrived at the retreat. It's the first day. It's the third day of my dry fast. I have many things in my history that prepared me to accept dry fasting as soon as I heard about it. Well, for starters, my mom had a nervous breakdown when I was young, and that started our whole healing journey into clean food and no drugs, and just she tried so many things to get better, and then learning everything that did work, it set me on a good path already, looking for the natural ways to heal and clean food and clean environment, clean water, things like that. For my own self personally, I in the past have, just a quick summary, dealt with Epstein-Barr, and this was all diagnosed by my homeopathic doctor. So, and I never took any antibiotics for any of these. So Lyme as well, and living in Houston with all the mosquitoes, I'm sure that was how we contracted it, because we never had any bites or the bullseye rash or anything. But I know I have quite a chemical burden in my body. I'm very chemically sensitive. I used to use a lot of hair product, and also my mom took phenobarbital and Dilantin when she was pregnant with us, and nursing. She had seizures, and so she took that for a long time. Anyway, collecting my thoughts. So Epstein-Barr, Lyme, allergies, very chemically sensitive. I also have Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune issue with the thyroid. That's something I'm looking to reverse. I know other people who have reversed that. I also have really bad seasonal allergies, and I was experiencing much worse seasonal allergies last year when I encountered the information about dry fasting, which blew my mind, because in the United States, everybody thinks that, well, maybe worldwide, everybody thinks that if you don't have food or water for 3 days that you die. So it was really exciting to me, and to hear about this ability that the body has naturally, that's just built in, God-given, I would say, to heal. And because for religious reasons we already fast once a month, and I had already been doing kidney cleansing and liver cleansing, and so I thought, okay, I'm just jumping right into a 36-hour dry fast. And after a couple of those, the sciatica that I'd been dealing with for a year on my right side was pretty much gone, and the seasonal allergies, where I had hives up my arms and up to my knees, just really itchy for a couple weeks after doing yard work. I love beautifying my yard and area that I have. And so along with that, with the allergies and the sneezing, and this is maybe TMI, but every time I sneezed, I peed. And so I'm willing to do a lot of things so I can stop peeing every time I sneeze, and be sneezing all summer. And I don't react well to medications, so I just jumped right on it. And this year, the allergies have been much better. So my preparation leading up to this retreat, I have done many 36-hour dry fasts. I think 3 2-day dry fasts, 2 3-day dry fasts, 2 5-day dry fasts. The last one was 3 weeks ago, and here I am. So I'm really grateful that I had all that time to prepare, not only physically, I think mentally, and just understanding how my body reacts and what to expect, and just developing the mental strength to be strong and knowing this is a choice. I can have food or water anytime I want, but this is actually a very short time to be doing this and allowing my body to clean and self-heal, to take care of the issues that I'm dealing with. And I have several other things I can mention, and maybe I will, but I would say a lot of the reasons I'm doing this too is for prevention and quality of life, and to get my energy back. My body changed quite a bit once I had COVID. Just had a lot of fatigue. That was in 2020. So I think that's maybe a bit of a long introduction to start, but that's it for now. Thank you.
It's day 4 of my dry fast and day 2 of the retreat. I started my dry fast the night before I began traveling, and the route that we took, because we're familiar with France and Paris, so we flew from the US to Charles de Gaulle and then stayed there almost a whole 24 hours just because of then we chose Austrian Air to come to Montenegro. And so the first travel day was fine. The second was not so great because we were on the third day of dry fast and ended up having a pretty heavy travel day and going through customs 3 different times and lugging my very heavy bag around Charles de Gaulle. And there were some agents who were not helpful, and just standing in line waiting for 30 minutes to get the okay on my bag that was larger than their automated system could handle. Anyway, maybe that's a little bit too much, but maybe avoid Charles de Gaulle. There are plenty of other ways to get here. So I'm a little bit more tired today. I did not sleep well the night before leaving for traveling, the night I started the dry fast. And normally the first 2 nights I sleep quite well, but I have maybe been getting 2 hours. But I make sure to lie in bed, because even if you're not sleeping, the rest is necessary, and staying off electronics and keeping the lights out, because circadian rhythms are so important to our overall body health. And our modern lifestyle and world really is so easy to have lights on late into the night and eat late into the night, and it's just much healthier to stop eating early and then make sure you have lights out. So I fortunately had known that before, and so even when I wasn't sleeping, I made sure that I was still just resting in bed and trying to focus on positive things. And so I would like to talk about over the course of the rest of the retreat, or at least the dry fast time, about different symptoms that I've experienced over the years. And so a few today. One of them is urinary tract infection that started about 15 years ago, and I struggled with different ways of clearing it up. And because of my experience with my mom and her health problems, and then my first child, I have 4 children. My first child had a rash that started at 4 months and got really, really bad all over her body. Her face looked like second-degree burns. And we did lots of different things and finally came to alternative medicine that cleared her up. But so I'm just dedicated to not taking antibiotics and pharmaceuticals for things. So I experimented with different things and finally found homeopathics that really helped it. Switching to a whole food plant-based diet helped as well. But then dry fasting, so that changing the diet and homeopathics took it to a certain point. But then dry fasting, when I started last year, it pretty much cleared it up, except when I dry fast. So day 2, day 3, and today I've had a little bit of issue with it, but it's pretty much gone. So I found that the pattern happens that on days 2, 3, 4-ish, I'll have flare up of that, but I know it's just clearing it out more. And it could also be that with everything that I'm dumping, that the bladder is tasked with eliminating, that it's just hard on it. So anyway, so that's one thing. I mentioned in yesterday when I caught COVID, how it just took my energy, where I've dealt with Epstein-Barr and getting exposed to Lyme from mosquitoes. I'm pretty sure lots of mosquito bites in Houston. That those I had struggled with and dealt with homeopathics and hydrogen peroxide IVs and ultraviolet ozone IVs, and those definitely helped. But then COVID just blew everything up, and really struggling with energy levels. And what I knew had helped to a point, and so we love being outdoorsy and going on backpack trips. And so 2 years ago, I went with my husband to the Wind Rivers in Wyoming and did a big backpack trip, and I was able to do it. But then for 2 weeks after, I just needed a rest. So fast forward to a month ago, I went again, but this time I had been doing all the preparation, the 21-day program, the first 5-day dry fast, and with all the walking and preparing my feet. And I've been a big athlete in the past, but because of the fatigue and being a mom of 4 kids, and I homeschool, and so there's just lots of things that have made it hard. But with dry fasting and the emphasis on walking, I've been doing a lot of walking. And I also carried a 10 kg pack and came back. I had a wonderful backpack trip, went about 50 kilometers, and also at pretty high elevation. We were about 10,000 feet, which is about 3 kilometers. And then I felt really good, and but then I took a week of recovery from that before going into my last 5-day dry fast in preparation for here. So just to say that even though I haven't accomplished a 9-day dry fast yet, the benefits that I've seen from all of the preparation and the dry fasting that I have done so far, I can see the benefit and the help already. And so I'm really excited to see what the 9 days will do, because I think the bottom line is, because I don't have a hard case of Lyme or muscular cirrhosis was talked about in our lecture today. I don't have that, so it's a lot of prevention too. But it's just, I know that there's a lot of chemical residue and infection that we are just exposed to in our world, and so I'm really excited to get that cleared out so that my body can function optimally. Thank you. It's day 3 of the retreat, day 5 of my dry fast. I am finally gotten a few hours of sleep today during the day, and I'm feeling amazing. It's an 8-hour time difference. We were just discussing in the group about jet lag, and my body's finally adjusting. Years ago, our family moved to South Africa for a while, and it literally took us 2 weeks to adjust, and it's actually the same time zone as Montenegro. It was just on the other side of the globe and the land masses, and thankfully the Olympics were playing, and so we'd be up in the middle of the night watching the Olympics, having a great time, and we're able to adjust easily. Anyway, that's a little digression, but I wanted to answer a little bit more of
more about what I talked about yesterday with what the recommendation is for travel. So if you can get here in one day, then if you're doing it on day 1 or day 2 of dry fasting, great. But if you have complicated travel and it's going into day 3, don't do it. Just get to the resort early and get the travel taken care of, and then start your dry fast when you're here. That's what I recommend after doing it the hard way. Another topic we've been asked to talk about is what kind of support we've had from our family, our friends, and like I also talked about yesterday, my mom had a nervous breakdown, and it really changed our life for many years. She went to so many different doctors and finally found health in the alternative world. And also the pediatrician that she had taken us to for our vaccines, she was asking him a lot of questions, and he got mad at her and basically gave her a lecture that she shouldn't be asking questions. And well, my mom is an A-type personality, and you don't tell her that. And so she just never went back. And this pediatrician happened to be married to her cousin, so that I'm sure he got over it, but she still was good friends with her cousin. So it started a long time ago. So as a family, we just kind of grew up with different healing modalities as they were searching to get her better. She went from being a flutist in the symphony, playing in very high stress situations, to where she couldn't drive. She couldn't, she just had to withdraw from society in a lot of ways. So, and it took a few years to get her back. So anyway, we're very grateful for that experience with our family that led us to different ways of doing things. And so and we talk a lot as a family, and grew up pretty critical, which I've learned to temper as well, because I've learned you don't have to have an opinion about everything or lots of things. So when dry fasting came up, it was just a natural thing. Hey, look what I learned. And I talked to my brother Craig, who's here, and because I knew what struggles he'd been having, and so I said, hey, you should try this. And so he didn't need any convincing, because of everything that we had experienced as a family up to that point. He was already on board with things like this, and I instantly recognized, especially after just doing a 36-hour and a 2-day, like, okay, this is cool. So, and then for my family, especially my husband, as he observed me doing the fasting, especially a 5-day, and that how well I dealt with it, he was thinking, okay. And he's done a 36-hour. I have a daughter. We have a daughter who's done a 36-hour, and they're planning on doing more. My kids are swimmers and competitive swimmers, and they eat a lot. They train twice a day a lot, and the calories that they have to consume are very high. And so especially my boys think about not eating for a few days, and they watch me not eating for days and days, and they just shake their head. Wow, Mom, how do you do that? So, and I tell them, well, the crazy thing is I'm thirsty. I'm not hungry. I just think about water. But yeah, so just a couple of things about the last little bit of the retreat for me. One of the things that I'm here for is clearing congestion I've had in my throat for over 20 years, and eczema type rash I've had in my ears for over 20 years. And then lately, I'm pretty sure it goes back to all the product I used on my hair for so many years. I used to get perms to curl my hair, even though my hair is naturally wavy. And then I would use gel to hold it in shape and hairspray to hold it in shape. Anyway, I developed an allergy to this apple-scented Paul Mitchell gel or whatever. I don't remember what product it was. And my throat started to constrict. And that was maybe 15 years ago. And after I had been doing that to my hair for about 15 years. So I immediately went and washed it off. I've been chemically sensitive for years, but that I'm sure made it worse. So anyway, just this whole region, this whole area took the brunt of storing chemicals from that. It's my opinion, my expert opinion on my own body. And then more recently, I've had a solid red rash in my armpits. It's painful. That's for about 18 months. And then I started to go dry, and then my mouth would fall open at night. Well, as soon as I'd done the first few short dry fasts, the mouth opening stopped, my eyes would get a lot better, and my rash had started to improve, but the throat and the ears haven't budged. Even though, like other things, they had been improved by whole food plant-based and some homeopathics. And not surprisingly, intense exercise would really help to clear it out, but that's what I couldn't do consistently because of Epstein-Barr, Lyme, and contracting COVID. So I'm really excited to see what happens in the next 4 days, because this is my third time at day 5, and at day 5, and it started earlier this time, the mucus and buildup that has been here for so long, it's trying to come out, but we live in a desert area and it just gets so sticky, and I would try to get it out, but it would make me dry heave and it wouldn't move. So here where there's moisture, it actually is moving somewhat better, so I am able to expectorate some of it. So anyway, I'm really excited, looking forward to see how much I can clear these areas out. So let's see. Also, so moving from that topic, I spent the night on the beach last night, maybe got an hour and a half of sleep, but otherwise just enjoyed the sound of the waves and looking at the stars and feeling the wind on my skin. That is something, especially the cool breeze today. The weather today is so beautiful. The temperature is perfect. The cool wind on my skin is so soothing and relaxing and rejuvenating. It just feels amazing. So it's the perfect time to come here for the retreat when the weather is cooler. So I've also learned I have to keep my body temperature down. If I start to heat up from walking in the middle of the day, then that's a problem. So I walk early in the morning, which I did this morning, and maybe that's why I did some sleeping too. So that's what I have for today. It's day 4 of the retreat, day 6 of my dry fast. I am very tired today. I am having a healing crisis, which I'm actually very grateful for, because I know that things are working. I've had inner shaking and quaking, which Dr. Filanov was describing yesterday, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but I do remember the concept. So, and it doesn't help that I still am not really able to sleep. My trusty Garmin watch says that I only got 45 minutes of deep sleep, and then it also records if you're just lying there relaxing but you're totally awake. It records it as light sleep, which is wrong. So you have to be smarter than technology. So I have prepared for almost a year and a half, and in these last 4 days, yes, there are discomforts, the healing crisis, but I am forging ahead. There's no way I'm letting anything derail me from getting to those 9 days. Of course, my heart rate is totally fine, and if there was something that was going on that the doctor said I needed to, then I would. But anything outside of that, I'm getting to 9 days. So, and then as far as the routine goes, I have found for me that walking in the middle of the day is not good because I get overheated easily. So I need to walk as soon as it gets light, when it's cool, and then in the evening. And you can break up your walks, or at the beginning of the dry fast, I just do the whole 10K all together. Now I'm breaking them up. And then as far as nighttime goes, I just try to leave it dark. But maybe to get through these last few days, I'm going to have to watch all of the shows I have downloaded on my iPad and just distract myself. So, but I am starting to feel better. I don't really have the internal quaking anymore coming out of that, and enjoying the camaraderie of the people here. It's amazing to be experiencing such a unique process with so many unique people from around the world. It's pretty amazing. And I love hearing all the languages. I don't understand them. I recognize lots of words because of Latin and Spanish, and there are lots of similarities in those Latin-based languages that are here. And it's just a beautiful place here. I walk along the road, partly paved, partly dirt, that's just near the ocean because I don't want to be away from the ocean. It is day 5 of the retreat, day 7 of my dry fast. My thoughts are kind of a jumble. Overall, I'm doing well. I only slept for maybe an hour last night, and I did sleep for about an hour this morning. And the funny thing is, it seems that when I am really able to sleep, I set my alarm because I have to wake up for something. So I'm going to try that tonight and see if there's something psychological. If that doesn't work, then I think my body's just saying, we're not changing time zones until the dry fast is over, which will be another couple days because I'm doing 9. So I had kind of a crisis yesterday, but then after a few hours, it faded. And then last night, I just felt so much peace. I was so relaxed. And in the yoga classes, they focus on proper breathing, and that has really helped. It's actually been a problem for me for many years, and the doctor is going to work on my diaphragm after I've exited, because one of the people who's been working on me noticed that there's just a block there, and to have them describe it that way, it was as if a light bulb went on, because I was able to say, yes, this is a struggle I've had for so many years. I remember when I was practicing hypnobirthing, preparing for the birth of one of my children, and I just could not do the breathing exercises that they wanted us to do. And I still had all natural births, but it really bothered me that here I am, an athlete, and I can't hold my breath and control my breath like they're asking me to. So I'm really excited to get that resolved. The question of the day is about weight. My reasons for dry fasting are not about weight, but it surely is a nice side effect. Unfortunately, in the United States, and this is being exported all over the world, it's just obesity. It's junk food, it's processed food, and it's being exported all over the world. And with that, people are just gaining weight. And so the perception of what a proper weight is has been lost in so many ways. And we have family members, my husband's family, are largely overweight, and they look at my family, where some need to lose weight, and then I'm fine, and one of my sons is fine, but they look at us and say, you guys are too thin, you need to gain weight. And I just shake my head. And fortunately, my husband and kids are all on board, and they just know it's a perception that they bought into. And a lot of it is people have to be willing to change. First, it's like Alcoholics Anonymous, the 12-step program. First, you have to acknowledge that there's a problem. And so many people don't. And then after you've acknowledged the problem, you have to be willing to change. And you have to be willing to put work in and not only change food and exercise, but you have to change your whole belief system and your thoughts. We have a lot of what one of my friends likes to call stinking thinking, where our thoughts are just unhealthy. And a lot of those happen to be inherited from family. It's what we're taught growing up, but then we have friends that can perpetuate that. So as far as the weight goes, America needs to lose weight. And it definitely helps to be on the lighter side, to lose weight going into a dry fast, because heavy food is a burden on the body, and dry fast is demanding. Dry fasting is demanding. So when you're already giving your body a load before that, it just makes it harder. So there's just so much misunderstanding, which hopefully getting the right message, getting the truth out there will help, and at least reach those who are truly interested in making a change, and that they're the only ones who you can make an impact with anyway. Those who are looking for the truth and willing to act on it. So, but I'm like I did, I just recognized like this is awesome. This is what I need, because I have issues that have not been changing without it. So another one of those is I've had digestive issues for years and years, where I'll go through periods where it's like I'm not digesting anything, and I'll have so much bloating and stuff. It's so uncomfortable, and so I'm hoping that finally gets resolved with this. But I had such a fun experience this morning. I went out onto the beach, and one of the ladies here is so fun, and she was looking for sea glass. And one of the things I like to do with my family, especially one of my daughters, is we love looking for seashells and pretty rocks and things like that. So it's just fun. It's like a treasure hunt. So I was out on the beach in the cool of the morning looking for pretty pieces of sea glass that have been rubbed and polished by the rocks and the waves, and it was very relaxing and very peaceful. And then I went with another girl in the retreat. She had found a waterfall, and when you're dry fasting, you obsess about water. So we went to it, and we bushwhacked a path in to where we could access the waterfall. Now, we're not doing it when we exit, the day we exit. We're doing it days after, when our immune systems are back up. But this is just such a cool place. And I love water anyway. Whenever we plan a vacation, it's either to a hot spring or a cold mountain lake, or we're running a cold river. And so where I come from in the mountains, we're just used to cold water, unless it's a hot spring. So it's just one of the things that feeds my soul. So that was really fun, but I was tired. And then I tried to sleep, and my alarm woke me up, but I'll survive. I'm halfway through day 7. Soon I'll be sitting here on my exit day. So, yes. It's day 8 of my dry fast and day 6 of the retreat. And it has really been a beautiful day. So again, I'm not sleeping, but I have been praying a lot, and I just have had so much peace. And again, using the breathing that we've been learning in the yoga, I just remembered to do that and to help me relax, and just praying, and the peace that I have been feeling has helped me just to know I'm completely fine. Everything is going really well, and it is. And so this morning we had a really nice walk to the place where the river runs into the ocean, and so you get both the river sounds and the ocean sounds, and just lay there on the cold rocks for about an hour while our phones recorded, so that we could have that as ambient noise. And then did more of a normal thing. We walked to the market across that was out on the main road, and then actually dozed off a little bit. And then my husband, who's in the States, surprised me out of the blue and sent the most huge bouquet of flowers I've ever seen. And that was super fun. They smell amazing. And he's also fasting today with me. And just so supportive at home, and it's amazing. And it's just a really good day. You never know how these more advanced days are going to go, especially this time being my first, but it's going really well. And the massage treatments and the other treatments that go along with them are very helpful, very good. And especially those who are providing them for us, they're wonderful. And just looking forward to continuing on and having it be just grateful for the whole experience. With the question, is dry fasting dangerous? So I would say if you don't do the proper preparing and you try to do something like this, it won't be good. And the doctor is here watching over people very carefully, and there's some people that he's had to say, nope, you've got to exit now. And there are people who have prepared as well. So, but to me, it's actually a miraculous process, because God made us, and he made this absolutely perfect system within us to clean us out and to perform natural surgery, like Dr. Philanos liked to say. And I think it's the best term ever, because it goes into the very cellular level, and whatever is healthy gets to stay, and whatever is diseased or doesn't belong in our bodies, it goes. So it's truly the perfect system. And yes, we go through discomfort while this is being undertaken in our bodies, but it is so worth it. And when I drink water at 5 a.m, not tomorrow, but the next morning, all of a sudden it will be over. And I'll look back at the last 9 days and think, okay, that was good. And so it's not anything to be afraid of. You do need to treat it with respect. And it's also not something that is just a flash in the pan, one and done. Okay, I've done this little bit and that should be enough. It's more of something that is incorporated into the way we live our lives, understanding the polluted world that we live in, and that our bodies need this to help deal with all of the pollution that we encounter. I also have the MTHFR gene mutation, which makes it harder for the liver to detoxify. There's a methylation sequence that breaks toxins down, and what happens in that is you're missing the ability to make one of the very important cofactors. I think it's folate, or you need folate to make the other. I don't remember, but you have to have it, otherwise the cascade sequence doesn't happen nearly as efficiently as it should. So
I just have to watch out for what I'm putting on my body, in my body, and the thoughts that I'm thinking, just making sure that I'm taking as good of care of myself as I can. I have lost, I don't know, maybe 30 pounds through dry fasting, just in all the preparation. And at this retreat, I've lost about a kilo a day. But then, so right now I am about 62 kilos, which is about 135 pounds. And it's the lightest I've ever been, but that will quickly be, I don't know, probably be up to 145, or I forget the kilo for that, within 10 days, just replenishing the water. And then it's just the food and the exercise, and it really helps your body to, whether you are prone to underweight, because the person who introduced me to this is underweight. She has a hard time gaining weight, where most of us tend to be on the other end of the spectrum where we need to lose. So she's found it's helped her to gain weight. So it is miraculous in that way too, where whatever the imbalance is, it fixes it. So I'm just so grateful for it, and looking forward to the next 36 hours and what it brings to me, and just taking comfort, and just so happy with where I am right now, because right now all sorts of things are being removed from the my organs and systems and glands, that you have to go deeper and longer to get things like viruses out of that. And so it's really good. So something that's interesting that doesn't happen very often. So I was wake surfing in July. That's where you surf behind a boat. And I fell, and the surfboard hit me in the face. And right here, I immediately went numb, and I was cut as well. And it's slowly been coming back, but they did honey therapy on it last night, and the doctor said to do honey therapy on it every day, which we'll start doing at exit. But what's amazing, the dry fasting by itself has increased sensitivity here, because for months it felt like I had just been to the dentist and I was just numb. So I have a lot of sensation now, but just doing that one session of honey therapy increased it. So that's really exciting. Anyway, so I'm just grateful to be able to share, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I am so excited to be on day 9. It's thrilling and kind of surreal to think that here we are. I too am showing my hair in its full glory. Well, I'd have to take it down to do that, but I've never had such greasy hair, and I've noticed that other women on the retreat who have done at least 7 to 9 dry fasts before, their hair seems to be much less greasy. So I'm hoping that that is the case for me, and that this is just a huge cleansing, which that would be great, but it's been very unusual and not the greatest. But so today I weighed 61 kilos, about 135 pounds, and I'm 5'10". Just some little factoids there. I also got a massive balloon bouquet delivered from my husband. That was another huge surprise and very exciting. And now my room looks like a flower shop, and it smells like a flower shop. I've never seen such big lilies. So it's been very, very emotionally wonderful. So just trying to collect my thoughts. I am so excited to be on day 9, because day 9 is where so much deep healing happens, where deep in the organs, you have to do it for this long to get into cleaning out viruses and bacteria and chemicals that are stored deep in the organs. So that is super cool. I'd like to say some things about the value of coming to the retreat. So, of course, the 21-day program and then practicing and doing dry fasting at home is necessary and it's wonderful. And then when you come to the retreat, you learn things on top of that that you just wouldn't have learned. And I have studied and learned a lot, and it has been very helpful. And I also wanted to come to the retreat to meet these people that I'd been watching, Dr. Filanov, Svetlana, and others that are behind the scenes that you don't really see them or hear about them, just mentioned in passing. But I wanted to meet these people and see if they're legit. And they really are, and they are just as presented in whatever you've seen out there. They're absolutely wonderful people and completely dedicated to helping us achieve a much higher level of health and well-being. And so that is a huge reason to come to the retreat. There's so much support here with all the treatments. It's definitely a deeper experience with all the treatments and with everyone around us. And it's really an international group here, people from all over. And it's really cool. Now I have friends in places that I probably never going to be able to go to, but and we have to communicate through Google Translate and hand motions, but it really is such a benefit to develop a community around dry fasting, because it does take a unique person. And sometimes when you're at home, you feel like you're alone, and life throws all sorts of things like that at us where we feel like we're going through something alone when we're really not, but there just doesn't happen to be anyone nearby who's doing it. So it's absolutely worth it to come to the retreat and have all the support and meet new people and have such a wonderful cultural experience. It really is wonderful here in Budva at the Hotel Zavajo. So definitely looking forward to tomorrow and drinking and not having a dry mouth, but also at the same time my gratitude is heightened, my appreciation for nature is heightened, just in every way. It really brings out our spirit and quiets the noisy world down. We really are in this little oasis here, and it is such a blessing. And where my room is, there's this huge arbor of grapes, and they're beautiful. And looking at them and thinking, oh, but it's just a part of the beauty that is here, and a part of that beauty is in the people. And so I will talk to you tomorrow with not a dry mouth. It is day 2 of my exit and day 9 of the retreat, and I slept through everything yesterday. I hear it's quite the common thing, and I'm just very grateful. It's been a wonderful experience here, a lot of peace, which is kind of interesting life just tends to bring things that way. It's a compound in one. We experience several different emotions encapsulated in the same experience. So to be going through a very emotionally and mentally and physically strenuous activity that dry fasting is, while feeling such peace with it,
it's just been amazing. It's carried me through, and being with great people in a beautiful place. I've said that before, but it's so tranquil here, and it's very supportive of the healing and the cleansing process. And I am grateful to have been able to be here, experiencing the 9-day retreat, which is very fabulous, and I highly recommend it. And I think I've mentioned before, it's not a one and done. I prepared for 1.5 years, and it was just scheduling that kept me from coming sooner. But I'm also looking forward ahead to the continuing on in this path, and being very healthy, and continuing to dry fast regularly. And I haven't met with Dr. Filanoff yet about what he recommends for me going forward, but that will be nice to hear what he has to say. So I had a very delicious fish soup for lunch. It was sea bass, and it was just amazing to eat. Dry fasting helps you to really strip away the non-essentials, and really helps you to be grateful and appreciate the really simple things. So that's very cool. I have been pretty tired, but I'm working through that, getting sleep, and I'm looking forward to experiencing the leeches, which is funny to say, but they're coming my way soon, either today or tomorrow. And it was kind of fitting. 2 other people exited today, or when was it? But I woke up on my exit morning with it raining outside, and I thought how appropriate that now that I didn't have to worry about staying dry, I could go out in the rain. So I love that. Something simple, but that is what I can think of right now. I'm trying to get all of my mental clarity back. But still doing very, very well, and very happy and grateful for where I am right now. Thank you. Day 10 of the retreat, day 3 of my exit, and I just had a realization that hopefully the reason that I keep feeling spacey in my head is that I forgot to start taking my thyroid medication again upon exiting a couple days ago. So hopefully that will help me to feel more clarity in my mind. So I have really been enjoying the food on exit. That's one of the big reasons I wanted to come, was I wanted to experience the structured exit and the food, and just hear all of the advice and the recommendations. And so I really appreciate that. And I'd already changed my food quite a bit over the years with our family to have very simple food: grains, legumes, fruits, vegetables. And because of the dry fasting I've done over the last 1.5 years, it has helped me to stop using nearly as much salt. And salt is one of the big problems. So it's just been very nice to have simple food and have those flavors that are just there naturally, and eating slowly. Another thing that is so wonderful is that here at the retreat, we don't have, well, there is a schedule, but we are able to take the time to just relax and eat and chew slowly and appreciate and not be rushing and eating. So that is a wonderful benefit. The therapy staff are wonderful, and yes, thank you. I also have had Olga, but Anastasia has helped a lot too, and just very, very grateful for them and their hard work and dedication to helping us and to support our bodies as much as possible in dry fasting, because there's a lot that's going on and there's a lot that needs to be moved through the body and eliminated, and the therapy sessions help with that very, very much. And Sveta and Dr. Filanov and Daniela, everybody who has helped so much, the staff here, they're just great and have helped us and given us the help that we need anytime we ask. So just very appreciative of that, and wonderful people. I will be water fasting on the way home with some herbal tea, wonderful herbal tea from a friend here, and it will be nicer than dry fasting on the way here, but there just won't be options for proper food, so it's the only way to go. And so it's when you do so much and you work so hard to improve your health, it's just silly to compromise it over a few meals. So I'm really looking forward to being home and being so careful in the food that we're preparing, and also with my family and our kids. My husband's totally on board. The kids are some days are better than others, but I've been at this for a long time with the kids to get them switched over to eating a lot of whole food plant-based meals, which makes a big difference. And then for the occasional time that we have, well, anytime you're at a neighbor's or a party or a restaurant, you're just kind of stuck. But overall, what you eat in general, like the majority of the time, that makes such a big difference in food and quality of life. I'm really excited to see what happens with my body, because it's been such a big reset. For anyone who does this, it's a really big reset. And since I didn't come with any big disease, I'm just excited to see how my body resets and is able to move forward with energy levels and being able to exercise really hard. Thank you.